just moments ago, a very important witness took the stand for the government. However, it appears that that witness credibility is at question right now. So just now, a witness identified as Susan, she goes under the alias Susan, just finished her testimony. She told the grand jury back in the state case that she didn't recognize that her daughter was the person on the tape. She did recognize R. Kelly, but she told the grand jury that she didn't recognize the other person on the tape. She also testified under direct and under cross that she received a cooperation agreement, basically stating that the government would not go after her for lying on the grand jury in the state case. So she admitted today that she lied in the grand jury in the state case. Another important revelation came out that when questioned by Attorney Bonjean, why was she going to the studio by herself in different occasions, she said she went there just to see R. Kelly. Then Bonjean responded essentially that, weren't you having a relationship with R. Kelly? This is the first time we heard this. So the mother of the alleged victim on the tape was confronted by the attorney as to whether that she might have had a relationship with R. Kelly as well. Explosive. And her reaction to that question, she didn't seem too surprised. This is the first time we heard this. This is the first time we heard that the mother of, let's just call her Jane, might have had a relationship with R. Kelly as well. And she was going to the studio by herself. She wasn't going to the studio with her daughter, nor was she going to the studio to see her husband. So this is a very explosive testimony that came out today. Another thing that kind of made me raise an eyebrow was when she testified on direct examination by the government, she stated that, one, the reason why she lied initially was that she was threatened by R. Kelly and she was threatened by McDavid. This is on direct. But on cross-examination, she could not articulate what type of threats were made to her by R. Kelly or McDavid. So it begs the question, why did she lie in the first place? Jennifer Bonjean was able to get her to state that R. Kelly didn't make any threatening, anything that really could articulate that he said that was threatening. She went to her husband, and the alleged victim went on a vacation for 2 weeks or more to the Bahamas and to Cancun, Mexico, to get away, according to her testimony, or get away from the press. This is damning for the government's case. This is so damning, and when I tell you her demeanor on the stand was poor. It was poor in the sense that she didn't come across as being believable. She could not articulate how R. Kelly or the co-defendants threatened her. All she could say during cross-examination or during redirect by the government was that when the government said, "Who else threatened you?" she kept saying R. Kelly, but she never said anything under cross-examination in specificity what was the threat. Something else she said that kind of raised the eyebrow was when asked, when she went to the grand jury, she had lied to the grand jury, and initially she told the government in this case that to the jury she said that R. Kelly told her what to say, but she couldn't. But she said to the agents back in 2019 she did not remember if anyone told her anything to say to the grand jury. So was she lying then in 2019, or was she lying today in the courtroom? Because if you don't tell the the agents who are actually interviewing you for the 302 report, if you don't tell the agents that someone coached you to say certain things in the grand jury, how then can you say come to the court today when the lawyer, Jennifer Bonjean, is asking you, why didn't you say this back then that R. Kelly gave you specific things to say? She could not tell the jury under cross-examination what was those specific things that R. Kelly told her to say. This is why it's very important when you look at these trials and what is said on social media and then what is said in the courtroom. So there was nothing, when she left that stand, you did not know in any great detail what if R. Kelly told her to do anything. So this is explosive testimony today. And it takes away from the credibility of this particular witness. And I would say that when we actually are going to review the transcripts, you will see the inconsistent statements. It was something else that Jennifer Bonjean kept pointing out, that she kept mentioning her husband. Her husband is just, he died last year, but Jennifer Bonjean brought out that, well, if you had issues with R. Kelly, why did you mention him in the program? R. Kelly was actually mentioned in the program, and Jennifer Bonjean brought that out, and you gave him pretty much credit in the program, and this is unheard of. And there's something else that came out. So it was this talk online, and you heard the chatter that R. Kelly was paying the victim and all the family to not say anything. Well, she testified today, Susan testified today, that not only did R. Kelly, no one gave any special money, only money that she was receiving, or the husband was receiving, the money that he earned by being his guitarist. So what was the incentive? What was the incentive that R. Kelly had to coerce her to not say anything, other than they were benefiting from him paying the father and taking a vacation or two vacations? And she kept going to the studio to see R. Kelly without her daughter. Explosive. 30K, not 80K. It was 30K talked about. It wasn't 80K. So what was the benefit of R. Kelly intimidating her? She could not say what R. Kelly said in a threatening manner. So she went to the grand jury, the state grand jury, and this is important. She went to the state grand jury and said to the grand jury that, one, she did not recognize the girl in the video. She recognized R. Kelly, but she did not recognize the girl in the video. And her reason she said she did that was to protect her daughter, so her daughter wouldn't harm herself, because her daughter wanted to see R. Kelly. Her daughter wanted to see R. Kelly, and she lied because she didn't want her daughter to harm herself. It makes no sense. The logic is not adding up. The math is not making sense. And we're going to talk more about this on our live stream later on, but we have another witness that took the stand. I just had to come out because there's no recording inside the court. I did see R. Kelly. He was not slumped in his chair. He was upright. Jennifer Bonjean is a very effective attorney. She was able to bring out the inconsistent testimony as it related to this witness, Susan. Well, I don't know who's prepped or not, but I will tell you that it was very uncomfortable watching her give testimony. And I watched some of the jurors as they shook their head in some of the statements that she was making under cross-examination, and it didn't appear that some of the jurors were buying her story. Just unheard of. Unheard of. Court is not over. We had 4 witnesses that testified today, directed cross-examine. There's another witness on stand now, but I had to come out because this was a crucial witness. This is the witness that would have validated Jane's story. There is no question that Jane and R. Kelly had a relationship. They're not even arguing that point. There's no question that the two had a relationship. The question is, when did they have it? And how old was she when they were in the relationship? And Bongine was able to also point out that you were afraid of R. Kelly, but you kept a communication with him for over 20 years. And you were even going to his last concert. She attended his last concert. So how is this woman so close to R. Kelly, but she said that she was in fear of her life back during the state grand jury? There's something not adding up here. The math is not mathing.